Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Okay, get ready because today we are unpacking an absolute internet frenzy. We're looking at what might be one of the most fascinating online transformations of the entire decade. If you follow the creator economy, you know exactly who we're talking about, CarryMinati. For years, he's been India's undisputed roasting king. He's the creator whose aggressive, no-holds-barred style literally struck fear into the hearts of other influencers. But recently, well, the internet has been turned completely upside down by this sudden, massive shift in his public persona. So we're going to look at the data, the memes, and the fan reactions to decode exactly how a legendary internet rebel seemingly surrendered to the global corporate machine.
Okay, let's dive right into this. To really understand the shockwaves rippling through his fanbase, we've got to look at the viral memes dominating social media right now. Fans are relentlessly sharing this hilarious, almost unbelievable irony. They're constantly asking, where is the system crashing Carry, and who is this Melodi Boy? Seriously, CarryMinati is going viral right now, not for tearing apart cringe content, no, but for collaborating with the world's biggest creator, MrBeast, to make these cute, wholesome reels about Melodi chocolates. The whole internet is collectively asking, wait, how did the guy whose legendary roasts literally crashed systems become this sweet, smiling Melodi Boy?
So, the absolutely crucial point here is this stark contrast. Think back to his 2020 era for a second. This was the Carry whose famous opening line, "Jo kaise hai aap log," was enough to make other creators start sweating. His videos were defined by explosive anger, a barrage of curse words, and this unapologetic attitude that absolutely shattered regional YouTube records. But now? Contrast that with his 2026 era. We suddenly see a smiling, highly manicured, super family-friendly international collaborator. Fans are in genuine shock. I mean, the very creator who built a massive empire by mocking polished, sanitized influencers has seemingly adopted that exact same tame image for the global stage.
Now, what's really interesting here is how the community is using brilliant satire to process this whole change. The internet never holds back, right? And the comparisons are incredibly vivid. Critics and longtime fans are likening his old persona to a wild lion, literally a force of nature operating with 100-degree anger, just tearing through the digital jungle. But his new behavior? It's being compared to that exact same lion being placed in a zoo and forced onto a strict vegetarian diet. He appears overly cultured, super polite, and completely stripped of his signature bite. It really begs the question, what on earth could tame the wild lion of Indian YouTube?
Section 1. The $5 million effect.
$5 million. Let that sink in. That massive number changes absolutely everything. That is the reported prize pool and budget scale we're talking about when dealing with MrBeast's upcoming Beast Games Season 2. The sources highlight a really fascinating phenomenon here. International corporate money acts as the ultimate ego silencer. It's wild. When you step out of your home turf and onto a set financed by budgets that dwarf anything seen in regional markets, well, the power dynamics shift instantly.
And you know the fans noticed this power shift immediately. They summed it up perfectly with this meme. What happens when the opponent's budget is bigger than your entire career? Observers noted that when faced with a production budget of this magnitude, Carry's famous aggressive attitude suddenly went on silent mode, or as some fans jokingly put it, flight mode. It is a classic case of the roaster getting roasted. The internet is finding it endlessly entertaining that the man who built a career ruthlessly pointing out everyone else's flaws was suddenly rendered completely docile by the sheer scale of Western YouTube production.
So let's break down exactly what that flight mode actually looked like. According to the viral commentary we're seeing, his behavior on that massive American set was basically a masterclass in submission. He was reportedly smiling and quiet. Obviously, his trademark Hindi swearing wouldn't translate or, even be permitted on a global, family-friendly set. But honestly, it was his body language that sparked the most memes. Commentators joked he was sitting like a polite kid visiting his grandparents or looking like a lost child wandering around a massive shopping mall. The irony is just so thick here. Think about it. The ultimate critic, completely stripped of his home court advantage in his native language, reduced to just another smiling face in the background.
Section 2. No golly, only family content. And this brilliantly illustrates the core of the fan critique. They've playfully, yet pretty sharply, outlined what they see as Carry's new corporate mantras. First up, less swearing, more dollars. The raw, unscripted rage has totally been replaced by carefully scripted and incredibly safe content. He has adopted what fans are calling a suit-boot gentleman image. It's this polished veneer designed specifically to appeal to global foreign brands, rather than his grassroots audience. The allure of global fame and American dollars has essentially forced a rebellious internet creator to totally clean up his act, prioritizing brand safety way over the edgy authenticity that made him famous in the first place.
Which leads us to the ultimate fan reaction, captured perfectly by folks crying out, "This isn't the beloved we wanted." There's a genuine sense of betrayal and mourning for the old Carry. The sources point out that, hey, there used to be a time when watching his videos required headphones because they were just so unfiltered and explicit. Today, fans joke that his new content feels safer and more sanitized than a family-friendly TV commercial. And while they definitely acknowledge his massive success and are super proud of his international reach, they're mourning the loss of the raw, aggressive artist they originally fell in love with.
So what should you take away from all this? Well, the creator economy is a really delicate balance between staying true to your roots and evolving to capture global opportunities. As we wait for the actual release of Beast Game Season 2, the entire internet is basically holding its breath. Will he eventually unleash his signature roasting skills on the international cast, proving he still has his edge? Or has the massive scale of global corporate YouTube permanently erased the roasting king, leaving us only with the smiling Melodi Boy? Keep your eyes on the release, guys, because the answer is going to define the next era of his entire